Colts and Chargers. Colts fans, here we go, baby. Another victory. Another convincing victory. 38-24. I mean, this team is absolutely rolling. Look, the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan in me would hate saying this, but I don't know how you don't have the Colts as the number one team in the NFL at this point.
Only team that's 6-1 for at least a few more hours.
I know, but thank you. But just the way that they, especially to start the game, right, dominate their opponent. Shane Steichen, man, just doing an unbelievable job. We'll dig into that, obviously, a little bit more here. Indianapolis, their top 5 graded players here as the team that won the game. Offensive guard Quentin Nelson representing for an offensive line that just continues to kick ass. 92.3 overall grade from him at the top of the list. Defensive tackle DeForest Buckner, an 87.2. Wide receiver Alec Pierce, a 75.2. Edge rusher Kwity Paye, a 73.4. Wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr., a 73.4. And then Daniel Jones in this one, a 66.1. On the Chargers side of things, tight end Oronde Gadsden was their top graded player with an 85.4. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, a 79.1. Center Bradley Bozeman, a 69.7. Safety R.J. Mickens, our boy, getting on the top 5. You see that?
Good player.
Hell yeah. 69.3. Offensive tackle Bobby Hart, a 68.4. Justin Herbert did all he could, Dalton. I feel like Justin Herbert did all he could. What was the final yardage count from Justin Herbert? 81.6 overall PFF grade in this one, but
it's like 430, somewhere around there.
He had 55 pass attempts, so not even just dropbacks. 55 pass attempts, 37 completions, 420 passing yards from Justin Herbert. Unbelievable. Stat that told the story, Dalton. What do we got?
What you saw in this game is two things we've been talking about a lot the last few weeks especially. The Colts have arguably the best offensive line in football, and the Chargers' offensive line is a disaster. And how that bears itself out is that the Colts are capable of being two-dimensional on offense. 5.2 yards per carry. We'll take that. 8.5 yards per pass. We'll take that. 4 explosive runs, 6 explosive passes, nearly identical passing and rushing grades. It's a machine. It really is a machine. It starts up front with dominating with Jonathan Taylor in the run game, and there's just so many options outside in the passing game that even a secondary as good as the Chargers, they just have no answer for it right now. And you mentioned Shane Steichen. Going back and watching this whole game in sequence again, he has just got everything at his disposal, and it feels like right now, not just the amount of talent they have on offense, because they have a ton of it, right? And Daniel Jones obviously operating as the point guard to it all, but Steichen trusts Jones to run everything in the playbook. Jones trusts every weapon on the field to get open or to run the play as designed. The offense, even when something in a rare occasion does go wrong, an occasional 3 and out. We don't punt much in Indianapolis anymore, but the occasional time that we do, like if there was a 3 and out in the first half, they just go, okay, we'll just trust the defense and we'll get back out next drive and do it again. The balance on offense that this team has but Tyler Warren's been great. Josh Downs, Alec Pierce getting deep shots. They're getting deep shots now, getting opportunities there with Daniel Jones now throwing the ball deeper downfield. And even if it doesn't work, you make them aware of it. And you back a defense off into those 2 high looks going, shoot, they still have Alec Pierce out there running a 4-3, completing a deep corner or taking a one-on-one shot to a post or something like that. And then you see the next 5 plays. What are the Chargers in? Something too high. And then what? Here comes Jonathan Taylor. It just all sequences so well for Shane Steichen. And yes, the big spotlight is Daniel Jones just playing point to it all. And he was, again, solid in this game. He's playing the same football every week, just solid every single week. But Steichen's got every weapon at his disposal right now, and I think between these two teams, you saw the difference between having a great, healthy offensive line and one team that just didn't, and it's just relying on its quarterback to make magic happen.
Yeah, we talked about this with the Eagles, how it was a bit of a manifestation of sort of the in theory that they are, how they can attack you in so many different ways. That's the Colts right now, and I don't think that people think of the Colts maybe in the similar potency that they might view the Eagles lens through, but you can hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. He's running behind the best offensive line in the NFL, certainly from a run blocking perspective. When you want to go to the outside, you've got Josh Downs. I know they didn't have Josh Downs in this game, but you have Josh Downs who's great in the slot. You've got Alec Pierce who's a legit deep threat for you. Michael Pittman Jr. can do it all for you. And then you got guys like Ashton Doolin, A.D. Mitchell who are waiting in the wings to potentially give you explosive plays. And then on top of all of that, you've got Tyler freaking Warren. You have the answers. At that point, It's just execution. And I think that Jones is just doing an excellent job. So Super Pony in the chat is saying, I don't understand how Jones always has such a low rating. Well, again, going back to the grading thing, like a 66.7, that's not a low rating, right? Like that is above what is expected of you. And really the reason why it's just not so much higher for Jones is low big time throw percentage, low turnover worthy play percentage as well, but the big time throw percentage is less than 3%. So he just doesn't have a lot of those, but he's the perfect point guard right now. And so really the stat for Jones that you want to look at when it comes to grades, because I think this is a really good example of how using grades as like an individual and like specific endpoint probably isn't the best way to view them. What you want to do is you want to view the grades more of in contextualized situations, but also for larger sample sizes. So I'll tell you this. The real PFF passing grade that you want to look at for Daniel Jones is the season-long passing grade that he has right now. Because right now, that's a 75.5, which is a career high for Daniel Jones. So, like, that is really, when you are above expectation and so consistent and that point guard of your team for multiple games in a row, that consistency also factors into the season-long grades that we have for passing grades. So for Jones, I just think that this is a good time to sort of like call it an example of like singular PFF grades are useful, but like many things that like with everything that we have that comes with the PFF Plus subscription and everything that we have in Ultimate and Premium Stats, like it's about pairing it with other things to really get the full picture. And for Jones, that's the full picture of him. And so you may look at that and you go, man, are they disrespecting Daniel Jones? We're really not. And when you look at that overall season grade, that's where the true compliment comes to of how consistent he has been this season.
His legs are a factor too in that. So you look at the overall. Think of it like this: if I were to ask you, Trev, okay, 79.2 PFF grade, that would make him the 9th highest graded starting quarterback in football.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Would you say so far he's been the 9th best quarterback somewhere thereabouts?
Yes.
I would put him 9. Sounds good to me. Maybe you could argue him up to 6 or 7, but that's fine.
In that realm is what you're shooting for.
He has played, maybe not as high end flashy as say a Matthew Stafford does some days, because they're two different types of quarterbacks. But right. He has played. I do not think there was a couple picks in the Rams game, and the Rams just made great plays on defense because I don't think he has not played a bad football game yet this year. He just hasn't.
No, he hasn't. And that's why
and for this team, that's all they needed. That's all they needed was the guy. If the Colts continue to have, say, the 9th best quarterback in football, they're going to win a boatload of games as they've been through the first 7.
That Rams game, he had 3 turnover-worthy plays. So that was the one game that he had that was below 60 of a passing grade, I believe. But, I mean, there's just been so much consistency from him all season long. Anyways, my stat that told the story was the Colts start. They're 3rd in the NFL so far this season at EPA per play in the first quarter. This team started this game touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
That'll do.
I mean, it just they're a wagon, man. They can't be stopped. And that goes into the Super Pony gave us a $5 super chat, which we appreciate you, Super Pony. I know you get in the NFLSE chat as well. I appreciate you taking in all the PFF content. He says, as a Colts fan, the only thing stopping this team from being the best team in the league is that defensive secondary that is battered, and then the pass rush is bad. I think the defense is, of course, the question mark, but when you score in 38...
Well, right.
Not even Justin Herbert throwing for 420 yards can catch up.
When you have an offense like this, all you need is an average defense. And honestly, that's mostly what we've seen. I agree with you on the cornerbacks. We talked about that last week, that they really need Shavarius Ward healthy and back in there. That'll make it better. That's something. Pass rush was good in this game. I know it's an easier assignment with the Chargers O-line and Herbert dropping back every play, but hell, my most impressive, I've got DeForest Buckner. I mean, you talk about on the inside, having a primetime guy on the inside like that. One of our highest graded players there. You're talking about a guy with an 83.8 pass rush grade in this game, 9 pressures, 2 sacks. I mean, that's your guy. Kwity Paye, 8 pressures. Leatu Latu, 7 pressures. So maybe against some of the elite offensive lines, they go a little bit quieter. You're right on that. I think there's enough talent on this defensive line. The secondary, I'm with that. That's the weakness on this team.
Yeah. That
is the thing. I think cornerback is the position specifically that's got, especially with that Ward out there, that they've been struggling at cornerback all year, but the offense has been so good. And I want to throw something out there because I don't think either of these guys probably are going to win Rookie of the Year. And I know Jackson Dart's doing great things with the Giants too. I think the two most impactful rookies, at least offensively, when it comes to what they've done for their team, whether it be just improving a unit or in, I think, the case of the Colts, getting to improve the scheme and get everything to do what Shane Steichen wants to do. I think the two most impactful rookies you could argue in the league this year are Will Campbell in New England for how his part and how that offensive line has turned around, and Tyler Warren. And we knew he was a perfect fit for this is why the Colts ran the card in, because they knew everything they wanted to do with him when they drafted him. When you look at him as a run blocker, when you look at the diversity and where he can line up in the formation and how many different ways he can catch the football. I mean, just watch the Penn State tape, and Shane Steichen goes, yeah, I'm going to do all of that. I think we seen him once or twice at quarterback this year? I think we have. He'll put him in the backfield at fullback, too. He's been lead blocking. Tyler Warren, I think beyond the box score, yardage totals, he probably won't win Rookie of the Year, but he has been so impactful to just everything that Shane Steichen can do in this. He's everything Shane Steichen could have asked for. And I think that's something, and this is a team that likes to be in 11 personnel a lot, but when you have a tight end like Warren who can do everything and can just be that one tight end that does it all, you can do that. And that's why, again, this team looks like, I was just going to say before, you mentioned and Shane Steichen and doing all these things. Granted, I don't know that they're getting this far, but does this offense not look a lot like he had it running when he was in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, from an efficiency standpoint, for sure. And he's got the O-line to be able to do what he wants to do, which was my most impressive in this game. Going back to the first quarter stuff, 91.3 run blocking grade in the first quarter. Obviously, they made it look easy with 3 straight touchdowns there to start the game. 77.3 impact run blocking percentage in the first quarter. Impact run blocking percentage is not just like, because again, a little bit of a peel back the curtain and like how the grades work. You start in a neutral plane, right? And the neutral plane is you doing your job. Like that is what a 0.0 in the grade distribution is, you doing your job. So for example, in run blocking, if you block your guy up pretty well at the line of scrimmage and he doesn't get by you and he doesn't get to the running back, boom, correct me if I'm wrong, you did data grading. That's you did your job. In pass protection, if you didn't let your guy pass you, if you didn't get into the backfield, you did your job on that play. An impact run blocking play is you took your guy, you drove him off the ball, and you created that rushing lane, or you even got one block, climbed to the second level, got a second block, depending on whatever the blocking concept was on that play. That's how you get judged there. 77.3% impact run blocking percentage is insane.
Yep.
That goes back to what I talked about last week, where you watch this Colts offensive line right now, and it looks like a professional dance team where every single step is in unison. Every single step and movement has chemistry to it and purpose, and it's exactly towards a single goal. It's a thing of beauty to watch. So their offensive line is just, once again, it's teach tape, it's appointment viewing. That's why the Colts are as good as they are.
Yep.
Most disappointing for me was the Chargers in the run game. I know they don't have Omari and Hampton in this one. They're down a bunch of starting offensive linemen. It's always going to be tough for them, but 23 yards on 20 carries for Haskins and Vidal. It's just
right now they just can't.
Right, that's the thing. Is like that's that's why Justin Herbert's got 55 passes.
You're on your third and fourth running back, and I don't know how many offensive tackles.
Injuries are really just the most disappointing thing for the Chargers.
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much where that's at.
Anything else?
Nope. All good. Offensive line play still matters, Trev. Matters more than ever.
Never went away, folks.